Bernie Sanders had a classic Bernie Sanders moment during an interview with New York Times Magazine, and I want to share it with you guys here. So, feminist blogger Ana Marie Cox said to Bernie the following, quote, "Do you think it's fair that Hillary's hair gets a lot more scrutiny than yours does?" All right, so that's a weird question. I think we can all agree to that, even if you can, peek behind the curtain and see that there's some substance there. You have to admit, it's a weird thing to say. So here's Bernie's response. He said, "Hillary's hair gets more scrutiny than my hair? Is that what you're asking?" She says, "Yeah." He replies, "Okay, Anna, I don't mean to be rude here. I am running for president of the United States on serious issues, okay? Do you have serious questions?" And she says, "I can defend that as a serious question. There is a gendered reason." And then Sanders interrupts and says, "When the media worries about what Hillary's hair looks like or what my hair looks like, that's a real problem. We have millions of people who are struggling to keep their heads above water, who want to know what candidates can do to improve their lives, and the media will very often spend more time worrying about hair than the fact that we're the only major country on Earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people." Okay, now, understand something. Is there a point to be made on some level that there is a double standard when it comes to politics and the media and how they view men versus women? I absolutely think that's true. Just to give one example, the right never gave a flying fuck about John McCain's age and didn't care about Ronald Reagan's age. Hillary Clinton, who is younger than them, they said, "Oh, is she too old to be president? I think she's too old. I think she's too old and too haggard, and her face is too wrinkly." These are all things that they've said, and we've covered the stories in the past. So why is it that when it's Hillary or when it's a woman, they say, well, I mean, come on, we have to question age here. But when it's a man, they're like, age is irrelevant, man. Don't be ageist against our guy. So is it true that the media is more likely to pick apart the looks of a female candidate than a male candidate? On some level, that is true. However, to ask Bernie Sanders about this and question him on some possible double standards held by the media and possibly held by society at large, that's not fair. For the same reason it's not fair that the Black Lives Matter protesters interrupted Bernie Sanders, because he's already on your side. This idea, which is now pervasive, unfortunately, in some segments of the progressive population, is, well, we should go after guys like Bernie more because the reality is Bernie is more open to hearing different points of view. But again, I could not disagree more with that because the guy's already on your side. You don't protest a guy who's already on your side. Just like I said the other day, if you're mad because the NBA isn't entertaining enough, you don't go to LeBron James' house with a sign and a group of people. No, you go to Chris Duhan's house. You go to, some shitty backup point guard or some shitty center, Kwame Brown, who's not even in the league anymore, I don't think, who sucked. He was supposed to be the next Shaq, but he's terrible. You don't protest the superstar who's already standing up for your issues. And this idea of, well, we're going to protest him even though he agrees with us because we need him to know that this needs to be his number one issue. No, but you have to understand how monumentally irrelevant that is. Because the bottom line is what? It comes down to one word: policy. What policies will Bernie Sanders favor? What policies will he push for? The reality is that when it comes to gender issues, and when it comes to race issues, and when it comes to economic equality, and when it comes to equal opportunity, and when it comes to war, and you name the topic, Bernie Sanders is on your side. He agrees with you. He's going to fight for the right things, and for you to pose questions like this as a gotcha question, it doesn't make you more liberal. It makes you silly. This is the point I'm trying to get across, man. We need to stop this fracture within the progressive movement where some people are trying to take down our best candidate. It just doesn't make sense to do that. Now, again, that doesn't mean you do unilateral disarmament, and if Bernie strays from progressive policies, then you step up to him and say, hey, man, what's going on here? But he hasn't done that, and he's not planning on doing that. So if you have concerns, some, in my opinion, very legitimate, some not legitimate when it comes to race issues or gender issues, you take that up with the people who are perpetuating those race issues and those gender issues. To take it to Bernie Sanders doesn't make sense because he's already on your side. He's trying to get a message out there of increasing the minimum wage, getting universal health care for everybody, taxing the rich, ending the wars, and you're trying to throw a wrench into his very accurate message and very right message where you say, yeah, but Hillary's hair and your hair, why aren't you getting criticized as much as her? I don't know. Ask the people who are criticizing Hillary's hair more than Bernie's hair. Don't ask Bernie Sanders.